Okay, so today I'm listening to a piece called Grace by Jordan Nobles. It's intended to be for a chamber ensemble, but I believe the instrumentation is open. Dedicated to Ensemble Mujirushi, who I believe premiered it. Yeah, they premiered it in 2009. Before we get into that, this is what the score looks like. Kind of like the last Jordan Nobles piece we looked at. There's kind of a score that everyone reads off of, but to accommodate transposing instruments, there's different versions of the score. Also to accommodate people reading different clefs. So the C score, the bass clef score, the alto clef score, right? The C score is for most of your treble instruments, then your cellos and basses probably, and tubas and trombones. Then the alto clef is for your violas. The B flat score is going to be for your clarinets and maybe trumpets. The E flat score is going to be for your saxophones and maybe clarinets. The F score for your horns. The G score for your alto flutes. And that's it. I guess the F score is also for your English horn. Just thinking through it. So yeah, everyone is given the same sounding pitches. Players proceed independently, performing any cell in order. Players can pause briefly between cells or proceed directly with a different one. All notes should be soft and quiet throughout. Each performer has her, or their own time, but conscious of and responsive to the other players. Yeah, they should play in their own time. Avoid playing any recognizable pulse. Cells can be played in any octave as long as they can be played softly and quietly. On polyphonic instruments, notes should be allowed to ring as much as possible. So if you played on piano, hold the damper down. Same thing on vibraphone or harp or whatever. Grace notes can be slow or fast. You should vary the speed of grace notes throughout the piece. Each held note should only last as long as a single bow stroke. I'm assuming also a breath in the case of wind instruments. Players can decide ahead of time how long to play and how to end. They could drop out one at a time, or they could wrap up altogether. Or alternatively, you could decide like, hey, how about everybody plays 55 cells and then they're done, and that then determines the duration of the piece, and the people who take their time just take longer to play or whatever. It invites the players to like stage the work, like maybe come on stage one at a time, or like to maybe distribute themselves around the performance space and the audience, etc. But interestingly, it's not a given feature of the piece. It's just kind of suggested. Other Jordan Nobles pieces we've looked at are supposed to be spatial. This one, it doesn't say spatialized chamber ensemble, just chamber ensemble. So, looking at one page of it, you can kind of see there's this diamond arrangement of everything. And as you go up the diamond, you get increasing numbers of grace notes from 1 all the way up to 5. And if you go from the middle up, all of your grace notes are below the note they land on. If you go below that middle line, all of your grace notes are either above or on the note that you land on. So actually, some of them go below. So there is sort of this preference written into it for notes going up, I think. I guess there's one cell over here where it doesn't really all go up. So yeah, this piece was written in Vancouver. All of Jordan Noble's work is in Vancouver. So he's pretty much just like well known on the west coast of Canada. I'm assuming that's where this ensemble's from. Okay, well, there you go. I mean, they're an ensemble. They work with composers. They're probably Canadian, and that's all I know. Link to a recording here is in the video description. I encourage you to listen to this performance and maybe imagine what other performances of this piece could look like. For example, like what if you had a handbell choir play it or something? That's probably a bad example because it'd be really hard to do, but maybe like handbell choir working as a unit and then like seven guitars each individually reading it. What would that sound like? It's for open instrumentation, so the sky's the limit here. Hello? Okay. Yeah, I thought this was an interesting video. I decided to watch the Redshift Music Society recording of a live performance of this with a saxophone quartet called Saxophilia. Not sure how they decided to mix and record it. There's some distortion though, at least on my end, listening to it. Um, I thought it was kind of interesting how this one was located around a park, kind of around a small, man-made lake, I'm assuming. I don't know if you'd even call it a lake, but like a public space like that. Um, must sound really interesting in person. You can kind of hear some ambient sounds of like children playing and people walking along the beach. And I think that sort of shows an aspect of this whole spatialization thing that Jordan Nobles so frequently does and this open instrumentation stuff. I didn't even think about this connection, but I think there is sort of like a connection to acoustic ecology and the work of R. Murray Schafer. It seems kind of obvious now that I think about it. But yeah, there's something very Canadian about this piece and this performance and the score. Uh, I think its sensibilities is a common theme in Jordan's pieces. I think it still is trying to be tonal music. I'm not exactly sure why. Um, but yeah, it sounds very tonal. Some people might who listen to more experimental music might find that kind of cheesy or sentimental, or nostalgic for no reason. Other people might call it postmodern. I'm kind of indifferent to it. Um, I mean, personally, I would try to make it a little bit more out there, give the improvisers room to like move away from the key at least. But as a sort of ambient little installation, this really works and it doesn't draw a lot of attention to itself culturally because it just fits into the culture of all of these Canadians who are outdoors enjoying their time. So, you know, it's not, uh, yeah, it's not trying to be something it's not. So,